I'm Dr. Bart Rademacher, and this is Prescription for Your Transformation. Real people, real conversations, and real success. Continuing with part five, the Heart of Resilience Journey, an artistic interpretation of community, of opportunity, of potential, and history, all wrapped in together, sharing with the rest of the world and the communities themselves what's actually possible as we look to the future from the present and making a real difference with two artists, amazing artists, Benjamin and Nazarene, who are changing the world community by community. Thanks for joining me today. And this is part five, and an important part because the center of all communities is the ability to produce food for not only that community, but in fact, the entire nation. And the story today is how one community is actually doing that. And it's captured by the incredible art of both Benjamin and Nazarene. Thank you for today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So tell us, where are you now? And what are the murals really representing? And I know there's some very dynamic thinking or experiences happening with the second mural. So let's start off with the first one.
Yeah, here we have this really incredible agricultural painting. Right now, it would be Bumba. Bumba is the agricultural center of the Congo. Whether there be war, anything happening, Bumba is the place that will send out all of the food to keep the whole country healthy. And you can really see it. I mean, just to describe the streets, you walk down the streets and there's vendors everywhere. There's people carrying, like in the picture, the cassava on the head, the jackfruit, plantains. It's such an agriculturally diverse place, really. On the river, I can't think of anywhere else we really saw that kind of
No,
diversity.
absolutely. Yeah. And with the corn, on the ladies' heads and the way that they balance, I even tried to walk down, with the paint on my head, this really beautiful street, this scenic kind of gravel and sand streets, and all the people looking and excited and laughing and very much realizing that I don't have a clue how to really balance things on my head, and they are masters at it. They can carry anything on their head. If there was an old typewriter, they'd be rocking it in every which direction, and it's really, really beautiful. And in this town, Boomba, there's so much production of agriculture, and we got to communicate with the Minister of Agriculture. And even when we were further east in the Democratic Republic of Congo, we even met with the head general of the logistics for all of the Eastern DRC. And he said, when you get to Boomba, you definitely need to use symbolism of agriculture, because everybody knows that even during the Civil War, agriculture from Boomba, food from Boomba, and the highway, which is known as the Congo River, was able to ship and send food and keep people nourished and continuing to do what they do, even in the capital, almost all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. So,
Wow. So, can you describe some of the particulars of the agriculture that you saw?
Yeah, I mean, they have such an abundance of cassava in this nation. It's such a staple to the diet. So we have the cassava growing and the lady tending to it. Also the cassava on the head, because that's very typical. And rice. We were asked for sure by the chief to paint rice. It's just like rice is a huge part of Boomba here, and it's really beautiful the way we had the liberty to use the colors, the pinks and the yellows, to really make it pop and really like show the beauty of the rice there. Um, and of course the maize. Maize is a huge part. I don't know if we've touched on fufu. Fufu is like a really hearty, I don't know what to call it. It's not, it's something very unique in its own. It's a mix of ground corn and ground cassava, and it makes this kind of, it's like a dumpling, but it's not cooked. Well, it is actually, they boil it. So it's like this round ball that you get on the side of your plate, and you take pieces from it and you dip it in your like your stews and stuff. And it's everybody knows fufu. You say fufu, they're like, you know fufu, and we're like, we know fufu.
It's in the staple diet of every single day of your life if you're over there. And it's an art. I mean, they massage into this fufu. They're like, you got to make it perfect. So it's actually kind of this like spoon. So you use it to scoop up your stew or your meats or whatever you're eating it with. And it's quite interesting. And then we even had dialogues about some people have the perfect size because they know exactly how much they can swallow. And others are like, you don't just swallow it whole, you got to chew it. So everybody's got their way, you know, like every culture, every region. And so in this mural, the woman with the cassava on her head, she is also holding, like close to her bosom, her baby. And, you know, the mothers have to carry their babies, or the siblings will take care of the babies when the mothers are working in the fields, and the fathers as well. And so it is, you do whatever you have to do to make sure that your offspring, your love, your children are protected, provided for, and they come along with you. And when they can start walking, they start helping in the field side by side with their family members. It is like an all-inclusive kind of hard work, and it's not an easy lifestyle, but their resilience really blew us away, and truly honored to be able to be living with them and depicting that for which is such an inspiration, to be one with the earth and to connect with the soil and to grow not only for ourselves, like you said earlier, but for as many people as can benefit from what we do with our own sweat, blood, and tears, you know? And
Yeah,
then,
this is quite universal. I just came back from Guatemala, and it's the woman doing all the work, taking care of the children, and going into the fields. And I'm sure it's universal in most other, countries. And just again, illustrates what you're depicting here is the power of the woman, the resilience of the woman, the sacrifice that the woman has to make. And so beautiful that you've actually captured it. And on another note, I coming just from Guatemala, building homes in Guatemala, we were making tortillas, and that in itself is an art as well. So I'm sure there's parallels between all sorts of countries using a staple like corn, like maize, for that. Please continue.
absolutely. Yeah. And so, uh, what was really special about the details of this painting was that Azurine made sure that she meticulously focused on every single kernel of the corn. And it really adds to the depth and the three-dimensionality, because the chief wanted this painting and has now installed this painting in the very center of the roundabout, in the very center of the entire city. So everybody coming in, out, or just going about their daily activities in the center come across this painting. And so it was important that it was seen and appreciated. People could feel the detail that's honoring their lives up close, and also with the contrasting and the complementary colors seen from really far away as well. And so to have the honor to be able to paint for the very center of this village and celebrate the hard work of the divine feminine and the incredible, delicious, organic. They don't use the word organic, it's just automatically organic food, because they just grow it straight and pure, and share it with others as well.
So I'm curious, when passerbys come by after you guys have left, is there any kind of recognition for you guys for the work that you've done, and also the message that you want to share?
Well, that's a good question. Obviously, first and foremost, we engage and we share because this is what we love to do. So it's the kind of gift that doesn't have an expectation of a return, because it's already making us feel so good to do what we love, paint, share, learn. And we're changing in the process as well. So the community is influencing us right there on the spot.
Mm.
Then there's oftentimes the director of the hospital or a doctor or somebody that we've stayed connected with will later tell us how much the impact has spread throughout the cities and the communities that we've painted in, and oftentimes like really increasing the clientele for the hospitals, for example, for people that have been living way in the outback or way out in the jungle that didn't know that they had these services at their disposal. And through the artwork, there's one example that people would be able to see visually. Maybe they can't read, or maybe they just don't know that it's an offering for everybody, or where to even go for certain treatment that they absolutely need, like life-saving operations. And it's been really incredible that the artwork, the visual expression, can actually symbolize and share the message of what people need, where and when, and also honoring their hard work, honoring their unconditional love for the family, and speaking about the future.
Yeah, very well said, and that's what I was hoping to hear actually, because truly, this is not only an inspiration for the communities that experience it, but for the rest of the world. There are many different ways that we can support, and it doesn't have to be with a handout. In fact, we all know that handouts really don't work in any society. And so what you're doing here is inspirational by all means, and I love what you're doing. So now as we move along to your next mural, share with us on that one.
Yeah, we're moving down to Boomba. Actually, when we're leaving Boomba, right as we're getting on to the boat from finishing our painting, there was a gentleman from, I think he was from Boomba. He's like, "You guys did all those paintings in Kisangani." And we're like, "Yeah." Because he was the first person to really be like, "Oh, like you're going down that river." Because usually we tell people that. We're like, "Oh yeah, we're going." So he actually had his son with him, and he's like, "These are the guys that are like painting," and it was really sweet.
It was really sweet. And when the boat decided to finally head down river, before leaving, the chief of the village of Boomba ended up gifting us an mbuzi, a goat, and also a big bunch of plantains. And it was really, really incredible that he just acknowledged that, of course, we need to eat along the way as well, and wanted to say thank you through offering us something very important for their community.
That's a huge gift by many standards. That's amazing. That's powerful.
Yeah, yeah. And so the boat continued down to Lisala, and we got there and we made arrangements and worked it out with the immigration officers where we could be there as we were waiting for the next boat or our boat to return. We didn't know how we were going to leave this town. So once we arrived in Lisala, the capital of the region, we didn't actually know how we were going to go. We just knew we were there. So since we were there, let's get to work. And once again, Dr. Didier, who you've heard about several times now, had 3 students that had graduated and they became doctors there in La Sala in the general hospital. And this hospital happened to be the exact same hospital where Mobutu, the leader or the former president of former Zaire, which is now Democratic Republic of Congo, and his birthplace. And there's really a lot going on here. It's kind of in La Sala is very relaxed, but it's also kind of like the political town. It's the town where the decisions are made for the province, And of course, we went straight to the mayor, the chief, to make sure that, he knows we're there, ask for permission. And that's the way that we do it in each location, to make sure that we take the steps where everybody feels honored for the authority that they have. And once we get the permission, then we can really go for it. Mm-hmm. And that first mural that we did in La Sala was on the actual general hospital of La Sala. and we worked it out with the mayor, who really loved the original design, and the director of the hospital that was really excited about focusing, yeah, yet again on the connection of family, the resilience and the courage and the heroism of the Congolese mother,
Mm.
and also motherhood. You know, the giving birth, and they had a really large unit, prenatal unit there at this general hospital. So it was very important theme for them, and that was like, okay, wow, we're learning more and more that the heroism that we're really sharing and want to magnify through the colors of love and these powerful compositions are the resilience of the women.
And there was a discussion regarding the little child, touching the stomach of the woman.
Yes, yes. And so after we completed this painting, and we had, at times 50 to 100 people surrounding us, motorcycle drivers, mothers carrying cassava or carrying corn or carrying all kinds of things on their head. So we were surrounded by this community, and the children were just like really enthralled and really interactive and excited, and of once again wanting to come closer and closer and be in the energy. And so that was really amazing, the response and the support that we were getting while painting this mural. And it actually turned out to be the photo like center up of all of Lisala. I mean, afterwards, within 2 days after painting it, we heard that, the photographers were asking for their photo shoot to be in front of this mural. And it just really had a good vibration, a really good response. And then what happened was, during the time that we were painting this, there was an attempt to overthrow the governor's office, and there was some violence involved. It was about a kilometer and a half away from where we were painting, and we did not even know that this was happening until the next day, because we were focused in, and everybody there next to us at the mural, they were focused in on the art and the creativity, while some attempts at destruction and not taking any political sides and have no idea even what it was about, but it's just happened. So during which time the governor was away, and the governor came back and saw, wow, I almost lost my office. My wife was the one that stood up and actually made sure that we kept the office that they were elected for, and then saw that there was a brand new mural with a big hype, and he wasn't around during the time that we had gotten permission and all this. So uh, there happened to be a few things that were spoken about that they felt needed to be changed. And so one was the revealed like skin of the tummy of the pregnant woman, and the other was the child touching the mother. And we were asked by the Minister of Health, directed by the governor, that we should cover up the belly, and we should actually remove the arm of the child, of the little girl touching her unborn sibling that she's so excited to meet and connect with.
Mhm.
And they said that our culture here is not ready for that, or something. It might have this idea that it means something else. And what's crazy is that 3 hours upriver, that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to show the belly. They wanted to show the family love. And so you just don't know. But the mayor and the director of the hospital and the whole community were overjoyed. And then something about politics came in.
Mhm. And it's
Well,
interesting because the culture there I found was very reminiscent of my family that I grew up in, an Italian household where everybody's always like touching you and like pinching your cheeks, and it was very much like that. The women will grab your hand, hold your hand, they'll like say how you doing, like not just like how you doing, but they're very yeah, they're very touchy feely people. So it was quite interesting because
it's a beautiful thing then to see, how, different communities, neighboring communities have totally different cultures, totally different mores or rules, and then how art, beautiful art from the heart, right, can diffuse these stigmas, these unfavorable rules, if you will, because there's nothing more beautiful than a child touching, the pregnant belly. I mean, that just depicts so much connection, so much love, so much possibility for the future in being together versus apart. And in this world, there's too much of a disconnection. Too many people are in conflict, with different ideas, just not wanting to work together, not wanting to trust each other, not wanting to tolerate other people's views, what have you. And I know for many, it's a desire for what their perception of survival needs to be, and I get that. But now, with art, once again, transcending all types of cultures and differences, coming together, because how can you argue with such a beautiful mural like this one? I know our time is up for today, and I know next week is a really special week again. Do you want to give us a teaser for what we're going to talk about next week?
Yeah, and just coming off of that mural that we just finished discussing and moving into the next week, it's really that unconditional love that you see in this mural today of the butterflies that are emerging from that connection between the mother and the daughter, that unconditional love of Mother Nature that provides and helps us, nourish our bodies to continue to be the best people that we can be. And next week steps right into that deeper and more vibrant and continuing this beautiful connection with the people and with the development and opening doors within our own souls too.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love it, and just recognize that all the viewers are having their hearts and souls open up because of the work that you're doing. Thank you so much, Benjamin and Nazarene. I am Dr. Bart Rademacher. This is Prescription for Your Transformation. Real people, real conversations, and real success, tapping into the collective wisdom and creating a space of generative collaboration by bringing together the thoughts and ideas, the experiences, and the perspectives of so many different people so that you can now choose a different way to live your life to serve you better and to serve the rest of humanity even better as well. Thank you. And we'll be back with part 6 with the Heart of Resilience journey of art to the Congo with Benjamin and Nazarene. Thank you. And we'll be back.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Dr. Rademacher's Prescription for Your Transformation. Continue the path towards discovering your own authentic genius by tuning in next time for more real conversations with real people.